Hey guys, welcome to my channel, QRPB Crime, Music Crime Time. Thanks for being here. Welcome if you're new. Please share, like, and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about a police officer that turned in unaliver, the unaliving of 16-year-old Susana Morales. We have a case that is so extremely frustrating, very upsetting, and I think when you hear the details of this one, I was going to say you will be shocked. But maybe you won't be, especially if you've been watching my content for a long time. Today, we're going to be talking about the unaliving of a 16-year-old Susana Morales. I hope by sharing this story, more people can be aware of what happened to her and see what a bright young woman she was, and that more people can root for her justice and root for her unaliver to be convicted. So Susana Morales was born on June 25th, 2006 in Atlanta, Georgia, and she was the youngest of three daughters. Besides her mum, Maria, and one of her sisters, Jasmine, the rest of their family hasn't been as outspoken in the media. So it's just really these two names that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Susana loved ones say that she had an incredible kind spirit, and that really what they wanted her to be remembered for. At the end of the day, she was also described as funny, sweet, sarcastic, and not to mention bubbly, and super passionate about music. Not only was she a talented singer and piano player, but before her disappearance, she had been teaching herself how to play the guitar and the ukulele. On top of that, Susana was very active. She was cheerleader at Meadow Creek High School, where she went to school as a freshman. Her and her sisters were actually raised in a suburb just outside of Atlanta called Norcross. If it was there that she grew up, went to school, and lived a pretty normal life. I mean, nothing about her life leading up to her unaliving would have made you think that anything like this would ever happen. From what I could tell, she was a super mellowed teen. She was well behaved. She wasn't doing anything to get herself into trouble. Wasn't sneaking around or, doing any of the typical things that most teenagers 16 years old would do. Susana was, excuse me, was very, very responsible, and if she ever went somewhere, she would always text her mum, let her know what she was doing. Her mum and her were very close, and she really kept her in the loop, and that's exactly what she did on the night she went missing. She did everything right. She was in full contact with her mum about where she was going, what she was doing, and that's why it was so bizarre to everyone. She just stopped responding. If her plans had changed, she would have texted, called, let somebody know. And that's why it's so strange that suddenly there was radio silence from her. Let me explain what exactly happened that night. So let's go back to July 26, 2022, and that day was a completely normal day for Susana. It was summer break. She wasn't in school, but she spent part of that day helping her mother at work to make a little extra money. Then after that, she came home around 4 p.m. and by 6 p.m. she told her mum she was going to walk over to her friend's apartment, which were in Sterling Glen Apartments. Right. She had gone there several times before, and like all those other times, her mum was totally cool with it. It was pretty much just behind the house. She had just walked a block to get to there. But this time was different, because after leaving her house that evening, she never returned. So I'll just show you some videos, about this. Right, where are we? Oh, actually, we'll go here.
Life. However, even after overcoming the challenges of the journey of families from Latin America to the northern regions, particularly the United States, is often fraught with peril. Driven by the hope of escaping poverty, systemic oppression, and violence in their home countries, they see the United States as a beacon of opportunity for a better life. However, even after overcoming the challenges of reaching the U.S. southern border, many of these families find themselves ensnared by the very law enforcement agencies meant to protect them. The tragic story of Susana Morales epitomizes this grim reality. Susana Morales, a 16-year-old girl, was reported missing on July 26, 2022. Her remains were discovered in the woods of an Atlanta suburb on February 6. The primary suspect in her disappearance and murder is Georgia officer Miles Bryant. Despite pleas from the Morales family that Susana wouldn't run away and was likely on her way home when she vanished, the Gwinnett County Police dismissed their concerns, insisting that she was a runaway. Sadly, their failure to take action led to a teenager falling victim to abduction and murder allegedly at the hands of a law enforcement officer. Officer Miles Bryant, 22, was fired from a nearby police department in Doraville County due to his suspected involvement in Susana's killing. He faces charges of felony murder, kidnapping, first-degree burglary, filing a false report of a crime, and concealing the death of another. Bryant's troubling history of stalking, harassing, and behaving inappropriately toward women and girls further highlights the systemic issues within law enforcement. The thought that someone sworn to protect and serve could be responsible for such a heinous act is beyond comprehension, remarked Maria Morales, Susana's mother, in an emotional interview. We trusted the police to find our daughter, but instead, they failed her. The shock and disbelief of Susana's family were palpable. Jasmine Morales, Susana's sister, expressed her astonishment at the revelation, questioning how a police officer could commit such heinous acts and evade detection for so long. I was shocked. I had to process it for a second. I was just like, what? That explains why it took so long for us to have an answer, she told WSB-TV. It's a police officer. I'm guessing they know how to cover their tracks. The case of Susana Morales is not an isolated incident but rather emblematic of broader issues of police violence and misconduct in the United States. Statistics from Mapping Police Violence reveal a disturbing trend of law enforcement-related deaths, with at least 1,176 people killed by officers in 2022, the highest number since at least 2013. Furthermore, a study by Bowling Green State University exposes the prevalence of sexual offenses committed by police officers, often with impunity. The fact that those sworn to protect us are often the ones inflicting harm is deeply troubling, stated activist Cheyenne at a Justice for Susana event. We demand justice not just for Susana, but for all those who have been failed by the system. The plight of missing young Black and Latina women has escalated during the pandemic, with many cases remaining unsolved. Activists like Cheyenne emphasize the failure of the system to provide peace and safety, which families like Susana sought in coming to America. The lack of national resources and media coverage further compounds the issue, contributing to a dearth of quantifiable data related to missing Latinx individuals. Many missing Latinas are erroneously categorized with white women and youth, obscuring the true extent of the epidemic within the community. In response to Susana's death, her family launched the Justice for Susana petition, demanding a fair and transparent investigation, full accountability for Officer Bryant, and reforms in missing persons protocols. We will not rest until justice is served, declared Maria Morales at a press conference. Susana's death will not be in vain. We will fight for change so that no other family experiences the pain we have endured. Protesters have also rallied against the Gwinnett County Police Department, accusing them of discrimination against the Latina community. Susana's case coincides with broader social movements against police violence and institutional racism. The installation of the new Atlanta Police Foundation, dubbed Cop City, has sparked outrage among Black, Latina, and Indigenous activists who denounce the project's displacement of Black neighborhoods and destruction of natural forests. The systemic issues highlighted by cases like Susana Morales underscore the urgent need for comprehensive reform within law enforcement agencies. Jasmine Morales aptly summarizes the family's mission, to ensure that no one else suffers a fate like Susana's and to advocate for a society where justice and accountability prevail. No amount of money, no amount of justice can bring her back to us, Jasmine said. But what we can do is to try and make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else again, and that's why we are here.
Right. No, you can't trust no one these days, not even the cops. There's so much corruption going on in the cops. I mean, this cop unalived her, and then the cops that were supposed to help find her or whatever, they sort of didn't help them either. So
search, and during that search, we located a firearm that had been reported stolen on July 27th. This is the same day that Susana was reported missing. That firearm we traced back to a 22-year-old former Dorville police officer named Miles Bryant. Bryant then became a person of interest in our case. We continue investigating, and on February 13th, we secured warrants for concealing the death of another.
He was not a former police officer at that time he was charged. If I remember correctly, he was only fired after he was accused of murder. So at that time, he was murdering people as a cop.
Since that time, our criminal investigators have been working this case continuously, and we have...
Feels like a dream, feels like magic. Now I believe I can.
This is Steve. Welcome back to the channel.
So he was a cop while he was unaliving people. So he wasn't even fired yet at that stage. Meanwhile, he's going around unaliving people. Great. Brilliant.
This is Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit the subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see my business email address. You guys can send me any videos you think make good material for the audience to watch, or any stories that you'd like me to cover. And we'll take it from there. But guys, I want to talk a little bit today about the teen that has been missing for over 6 months. And last Monday, her remains were found. And the person I'm talking about is 16-year-old Susana Morales out in Georgia. Namely, I think, Gwinnett County. And the thing that's strange about this situation is her body was laid to rest yesterday after being, she was found last Monday. Yesterday, her body was laid to rest. And ironically, a suspect has been caught in this case just that quick. As of last week, they had no leads, and all of a sudden, now they have a suspect. And guys, I'm going to let you look at this video clip from 11 Alive News out there in Gwinnett County, and I'll let them take it from here.
Developing this morning in Gwinnett County, a former police officer is expected in court after he was arrested in connection to the death of a 16-year-old girl.
She's been missing for more than 6 months. Ariana Manish joining us live this morning from the Gwinnett County Detention Center where he is being held. Ariana, what do investigators know about this right now?
Well, good morning, Aisha. At this point, police say that this investigation is fairly new, and their top focus right now is figuring out the relationship between the now former Dorville police officer and the teenager. Meanwhile, the family reacting to these charges, they say they're hurt as he was arrested on the same day Susana Morales was laid to rest. 22-year-old Miles Bryant, as I mentioned, the now former Dorville police officer, he is here at the Gwinnett County Detention Center sitting behind bars without bond, and he's facing charges for concealing her death and false reports of a crime. Brian is the first person to be arrested and charged in connection to the 16-year-old's death. Susana Morales' remains were found last week near the Gwinnett-Barrow County line after she went missing on July 26. Police say that her family, as well as police, they don't know any connection between the two at this point, but they say that they want to know everything and get the closure that they've been waiting for. Take a listen.
Completely shocked, honestly. I have no words, honestly. I didn't expect it. We didn't expect it.
Guys, that's a story out of Gwinnett County about 16-year-old Susana Morales. Guys, I want to be honest with you. He's 22 years old. She's 16. You notice in the video they said he had no bond. For him to have no bond, they definitely think he's the one that did it. Because if they know they got you dead to rights, that's when they take your bond away. And he is charged with hiding, you know, the death and then lying about it. So think about that. He's an ex-police officer. Now, some of these reports you'll see, guys, you got to be careful. It'll say he's an ex-police officer or he's a police officer. I'm gonna say ex-police officer because he's gonna be like, he's not gonna be a police officer now. I mean, so he's gonna be fired anyway. So I'm gonna say ex-police officer. I don't want to say police officer, guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you, because if I say a police officer and he's not a police officer at the time he did this, you know, it looks crazy. But guys, that's neither here nor there. But check it out. 22 years old, man. What you even dealing with a 16-year-old girl for? And then the thing is, nobody knows if they had a connection, if they knew each other. And they said she was charged as a runaway. Now, if you go into some of these news articles and watch the family, like the sister, I guess the sister was talking in the video episode I just used, they seemed like they wasn't really devastated. So I don't know if she had family problems at home. That's why she might have got labeled as a runaway, because she might have a track record of just walking out the house and leaving. You know, a lot of times kids, especially teenagers, they go through this phase where, you know, they bump heads with their parents. But I mean, that's just speculation on my part. I don't know, guys. But I mean, she seemed like she was happy in the pictures they showed her, you know, showed of her. If you guys look at some of these
Yeah, I believe that too, Jason. No bond means he's a flight risk and guilty. Yep.
news articles,
Sure.
she looked like she was happy at home. But I mean, everything is up for debate, you know, especially in times when, you know, it's a lot of mystery surrounding why somebody disappeared or why, you know, it's just a lot of whys. Why was she walking by herself? Why was this? Why was that? You know how it goes. But my thing is this guy right here, and I don't want to condemn him because he's not, you know, on his way through the system yet. I mean, but he's locked up. But I mean, I don't know if he's going to be, how you say, convicted. So I don't want to just jab him out. But I mean, the thing is, for your name to even be caught up in that, it's not a good look. Hopefully, more stuff will come out. And like you see, like they're not really saying too much. All they're saying is he's in custody with no bond. So that means he done told, basically, I think he done incriminated himself through the interrogation. He talked, and all of a sudden, he just told the whole thing. And they're not going to make any type of statements about the ins and outs of it until, you know, they get all the answers they need from Mr. Miles Bryant. Another thing is this. They say when she was found, right, in some of these articles, she was badly decomposed. So I'm thinking in July she was missing. If she was killed in July, I don't think she was killed when she first left with whoever. So we'll just say this guy. Whoever had her, I don't think she was killed right away, because Georgia in the summertime, super hot. And she was found in a wooded area. You know what I'm saying? With decomposition and everything. I mean, it's possible. They said it was bones and stuff left, but they identified the remains of her. And they said she was found in Decula. I don't know where Decula is, guys. You know, but I think it's just a part, you know, in Gwinnett County where she was found. So, but I don't think she was killed right away. And it's just from the way they said the decomposition was, and you guys will see it in these other videos. And where they showed her, where I guess they showed from a sky view, because they showed police on the ground, it looked like it was like a river or a ravine. So she must have washed up on shore. And I think it was some type of preservation. That's why I say, you know, I don't know if she was killed immediately. It might be some type of preservation on her body that prevented her from really, like, you know, going to a full skeleton. But they got enough information, they got enough forensics off of it to tie this guy to it. And I have more information about it as it comes out, and the videos that keep coming. Guys, I appreciate you guys. You know, you guys know that. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.
I wouldn't call him a cop at all. I would have called him an ex-cop too, or a POS, excuse my French, but yeah. Very sad, this very, very sad case this. Next one I've got for you guys. Sorry about ads, I don't know why they're going on.
Heartbreak tonight for the family of a missing Gwinnett County 16-year-old. Susana Morales disappeared last July. Tonight, police confirmed human remains found in the woods are hers. Police say a passerby made the gruesome find at Highway 316 and Drowning Creek Road, not far from the Barrow County line.
Fox 5's Christopher King joins us live tonight with the latest on the investigation. Christopher.
Christine, Russ, this discovery confirms a family's worst nightmare, and police call this case a top priority.
Those remains do belong to Susana Morales.
A grim revelation.
They did determine that there were some human bones in the area.
Gwinnett County Police confirmed they found the remains of Susana Morales near Highway 316 and Drowning Creek Road, close to the Barrow County line. Investigators say they used dental records to identify her remains. Susana was just 16.
It does look like she has been there for some period of time.
The teen's family reported her missing last July. Investigators say Susana texted her mom as she was walking home the night of July 26th. Her phone last pinged near Oak Lock Trace and Steve Reynolds Boulevard.
We are really asking for the public's help here as far as any activity that may have been going on in the area, anyone that may have seen Susana, anyone that she may have been with.
Police believe she may have gotten into a vehicle. Susana never made it home.
And we are still working with the medical examiner's office, trying to determine exactly what the cause of death was and what happened.
A passerby on Monday saw the teen's remains in the woods and called police. How Susana Morales died? Still unclear.
Right now, we're really looking at it as a death investigation, but we haven't ruled out homicide.
And right now, there are no suspects. Call Gwinnett County Police if you have any info on this case. We're live at Gwinnett County Police Headquarters. Christopher King, Fox 5 News.
All right, Christopher, thanks so much.
New video, and is this Miles Bryant, the former officer under arrest in connection with the murder of Susana Morales? One woman says it is, and that Bryant was stalking another woman. And as we've told you, Bryant is charged with concealing the death of 16-year-old Susana Morales of Gwinnett County. We're glad you're with us at 11. I'm Rick Fulbaum.
And I'm Sean Gables. The woman who recorded this new video spoke with Atlanta News First Tori Cooper this evening. Tori, what's the latest?
Well, Sean, Alicia Bates told me that former Doraville police officer Miles Bryant trespassed right here at her Snellville apartment complex on several occasions last year. She told us that she reported those incidents of stalking to the Doraville Police Department and the Gwinnett County Police Department, and tonight she wishes that both of those agencies took her reports more seriously.
I get a phone call. He's asking me, was I home? I said I was at work. What did he want? He said nothing. I just was checking on you.
In March, Alicia Bates claims shortly after she hung out with her old friend and former Doraville police officer Miles Bryant, he showed up to her Snellville apartment unannounced and uninvited.
I come home at like 12 because I was a manager at Taco Bell. And my door's kicked in.
Bates said she thought it was someone else who previously was stalking her until she says her neighbor witnessed Bryant trying to break in.
I never put two and two together until my neighbor ended up telling me that it was like a black guy coming and putting his ear to my door, listening to see if I was home and stuff like that. And then she was alarmed when she heard the knocking and she saw him trying to break in.
Bates said Bryant showed up to her door again in October and 2 more times in December. Also saying this ring video shows Bryant stopping by in December while she was hiding inside with her boyfriend.
I was home.
Okay.
I was at the door with my gun. My boyfriend had his gun, and we were waiting for him to come through the door because I knew he was a police officer.
Bates said she reported it to Gwinnett Police and Doraville Police in December. Doraville Police confirmed Bates reported it, saying an administrative investigation was conducted. They addressed it with Bryant, and the behavior stopped. Doraville Police told Bates she would have to file criminal charges through Gwinnett PD. Bryant remained on duty until he recently was charged in connection to the disappearance of another young woman.
I couldn't believe I've known him since 5th grade. You've been in my place. We've been to the movies, his girlfriend, all of that. Like, we grew up together. I couldn't believe that I would have been his next target.
Now, I reached out to the Gwinnett County Police Department to obtain reports filed by Bates regarding the stalking that she claims that happened, and to see if her case was ever assigned to a detective at the Gwinnett County Police Department, and they did not get back to us as of news time. I will continue to push on this story and these developments out of the Gwinnett County Police Department and the Doraville Police Department. If we learn anything new, we'll share it with you right here on Atlanta News First. Reporting live in Snellville, I'm Tori Cooper, Atlanta News First.
Susana Morales disappeared on July 26, 2022. She was walking to her home. Her remains were found nearly 20 miles away, February 2023. The ex-officer Miles Bryant has been charged with murder after he initially charged with concealing a death. His timeline of events, police say, led to Morales' death and Bryant's subsequent arrest. 6 p.m. Susana Morales leaves home to Santa Ana Drive in Norcos, walking to her friend's house nearby. 9:40 p.m. Morales texts her mother to let her know that she's walking home from Windscape Village. 10 p.m. Morales still has not returned home. 10:07. A location app shows she is walking on a Singleton Road. 10:21. Morales' phone indicates that her last known location was Oak Lodge Trace near Stephen Reynolds Boulevard. From 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., detectives believe Morales encountered Bryant and possibly got into his vehicle.
October 2nd, 2022, Bryant responds to a report of a missing child but waits 3 days to finish the report. Bryant is written up December 11th, 2022. A former friend of Bryant's files a police report claiming that he has been showing up uninvited at her apartment repeatedly for nearly a year. The case is never assigned, February 6, 2023. Morales' remains are found in a wooded area off of Highway 316 on the Gwinnett-Barrow County line. Police find a gun near the remains. They determine that it is registered to Bryant February 13, 2023. Gwinnett County. Arrest Bryant for concealing a death and false report of a crime. February 22, 2023. Gwinnett County Police announced that Miles Bryant has been charged with murder and kidnapping in connection with the death of Susana Morales. Bryant has been denied bail twice and remains in custody.
Good evening, and welcome to the Daylight Experience. Former Doraville officer Miles Bryant, age 22, is currently on trial in Gwinnett County for kidnapping and murdering 16-year-old Susana Morales. Susana disappeared in July of 2022 after visiting a friend in Norcross. Her body was found February of 2023, approximately 20 miles away from where she was last seen. Miles Bryant worked as a Doraville police officer and a courtesy officer at the apartment complex where the 16-year-old was last seen. Bryant was initially charged with concealing a death. Charges were later upgraded to murder. A new indictment also charged Bryant with criminal attempt to commit rape, as well as murder, kidnapping, and several other charges. Bryant has also been accused of stalking Elisha Bates for a year. Ms. Bates testified in court that Bryant tried to break into her Snellville apartment on several occasions. Pictures and ring camera video shows Miles Bryant repeatedly trying to enter Elisha Bates' apartment. Gwinnett County Police believe the stalking incidents began about 5 months after Bryant dumped Susana Morales' body close to Barrow County. If you or someone you know is being stalked, or if you just think you're being stalked, please report these incidents to the authorities. Stalking often leads to other crimes. Please take it very seriously. Thank you for tuning in to the Daylight Experience. This has been your girl, Daylight.
After receiving long light, you can come out feeling.
Another one, who we got here. Oh, this inmate testifies in the Suzanne Morrill murder case. So right now, at the moment, the trial is going. I'm thinking of doing it live, probably this morning. Well, it'll be this morning my time anyway. But here.
Okay. And what conversation did you have with him about some of the details of what was contained in the discovery?
After a few days, after he read it, looked over it, he come back out and he said, well, I don't think that I'm not going to get charged for this. And that they ain't got nothing against me. There's no, that it says right here, plain, it says right here plain, there's no blood, no semen, no nothing. They can't, they ain't got nothing against me.
So did he indicate to you that he was not going to be linked to the young girl's body because there was no blood or semen on her?
Yes.
Is that what he said?
See, there's no way this case can be put on me. That doesn't show that I was anywhere around her. It doesn't show me no blood, no semen, no nothing.
At some point, did the defendant talk to you about, at the time that you were, had you been in prison before?
Yes, I was in prison at the time.
Okay.
I was just coming back to court.
But you were just back in Gwinnett County to handle that case.
Right.
Did he ever talk to you about what prison's like?
Everybody's never been that has the possibility of going, they're always going to ask that question.
What specifically did he ask you?
He said, when and if I ever get charged, or when and if I have to go to prison, what's it like? And I told him.
Was that a one-time thing, or did he ask you other times about what?
It got brought up more than once.
Obviously, at some point, I'm sure everybody kind of wondered what might happen to them with their case. Was there ever a time that the defendant talked to you about the death penalty?
I don't know how discussions about the death penalty, and this is not a death penalty case,
His answer would be very relevant.
Can we get state that? I have not received any statements about anything involving death penalty.
You've been on the witness list, was great with him about him. He's been at the Gwinnett County Detention Center. I can't control whether he interviews him or not, but
he still has to turn over any statements of my client.
I have to turn over written statements of my client. There's nothing written.
And I will the objection.
Did you ever have a conversation with him where the defendant brought up the death penalty?
There was a conversation brought up one time. He said, someone can get the death penalty for something like this. And I said, no, you gotta do something more brutal than that. And he said, well, so far they only got me charged for this one. So far I'm only charged with one. I don't think killing one person, I don't think somebody doing something, they're gonna get no death penalty for something like that.
I understand. How long do you think that you were in the same pod with this defendant?
Maybe a year? No, about 9 months.
And throughout that time, I know you talked to us about a few different conversations. Well, in total, did you talk to him often about his case, or were those kind of some of the exceptions?
Maybe 7 or 8 times we talked about his case. It's not something that somebody wants to talk about every day.
Alright. So, thanks for coming, Jason, Green Submarine. Who else was in here? Let's have a look. Jason. I think that was about it, really. But yeah, thanks for coming. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please leave a comment after the show. Again, thanks for coming. Much appreciated. And yeah, I hope to see you on the next one, which I'll probably be playing some music, and then after that I'll do a couple of crime ones. Thanks for coming. Bye.